bored at the Kingdom Hall, right? Imagine being at a meeting that lasted for eternity. What if you couldn't leave the Kingdom Hall for all of eternity? That is basically what the Paradise Hope is. Think about it. If you survive Armageddon, if you make it into this beautiful, perfect earth where people and animals live together in harmony, then what? Well, you'll finally be able to pursue all those things that you just never had time to in this system, right? You can write that book you've always wanted to, or learn that instrument. But then what? Oh, and by the way, if you learn an instrument, you better make sure all the songs you sing are glorifying Jehovah, because that's pretty much all you'll be doing in paradise. It's constantly praising God, right? Because that's what the Jehovah's Witnesses today advocate. That's what they want you to do right now, is 100% all of the time devoting yourself to the glory of God. And yeah, they tell you, well, you have to make time for entertainment. But then what do they recommend as entertainment choices? Things that glorify God and nothing else, especially nothing worldly. So, that instrument you wanted to play, that book you wanted to write, the list of things that you can write about become increasingly slim when you think about what the Watchtower has said about God, what is pleasing to him, what's not. Pretty much everything that's glorifying him is pleasing and okay. Everything that is not is upsetting to Jehovah God. What I'm getting at here is, what are you going to do with an eternity if you can't express yourself? If everything about you, every work that you pursue, glorifies God, then what individuality is there? How long before you've seen it all? Before you've done it all? Before you're sitting on a mountainside overlooking this beautiful vista and you pick up that guitar and something sneaks across the back of your mind, a memory, and you pick up your guitar and you play a few notes and you go, what is that? You get a rush of nostalgia and your heart warms and you yearn to play the rest of this song that you suddenly remembered from ages and ages ago. And you finally figure it out. What if it ends up being a worldly song that no one has heard for billions and billions of years? What if you yearn for the past, for the way things were? You yearn for a time where humans were humans. They made mistakes. There were good times and there were bad times. And the bad times made you stronger and gave you character. And the good times were that much more sweet because of all the suffering that you've endured in your life. When there's no death, how do you define life? One of the biggest reasons I decided to not be a Jehovah's Witness anymore was when I realized that the things that I was most passionate about, Jehovah God said were evil. They wouldn't be allowed in his world. I am a writer, and I love to read, but I never really enjoyed reading The Watchtower. It was something I had to do because at the time I thought it was good for me. I derived no pleasure from the Society's publications. I enjoyed sci-fi, fantasy, fiction, even history. Those were the things that compelled me. Those were the things that I wanted to write about. And it dawned on me one day that I couldn't carry those things with me into the paradise. I, for one, am not petrified of death. I see death as a healthy cycle that is a part of life. Everywhere you look in nature, even stars die. It is the natural order of the universe that we live in. And I think that without death, life would be very cheap. I think the idea of this paradise that the Jehovah's Witnesses cling to so desperately is an attempt to run away from death, to try and cheat it. It's a mask to hide their fears. And it's ironic that so many witnesses have wasted their lives because of their fear of death.
Do you believe you're missing out? That everything good is happening somewhere else, but with nobody in your bed. The nights are